This one's called Corporate Translator. So
Okay.
I read you a line from a job posting, and you translate to me what it actually means. Ready?
Okay.
Let's go. We're like family here.
That means that you're on the clock all the time. You're expected to work as much as we need you. And, perhaps we don't understand that not every family is functional.
Oh, I love that. This is a fast-paced environment.
You're going to work a lot. You're going to be busy, and we're going to work you hard, and you're going to work really hard. You're going to work all the time, and we change our minds all the time. And you're going to be on board with all of that.
You'll be expected to wear many hats.
We've had a reduction in force, and you're going to need to do your job plus at least 2 others, maybe 3 others, in order for us to get back up and running at the speed that we should be.
This job comes with unlimited PTO.
Oh boy, PTO, but there's always a but. We'll talk about what that looks like when you actually ask for PTO.
True. This job requires insert rock star, ninja, wizard.
Oh my gosh. No, just no. I was once had the title of customer evangelist, and my boss that gave me the title, I loved him, but that title that haunted me. How do you explain that to people? And so no, we're not going to be ninjas or rock stars or any of the above. We're just going to be people doing our job.
Love it. And then last but not least, salary undisclosed, but it's a competitive salary.
So you caught me at a bad headspace here with trying to look for a job. So I probably just rolled my eyes there, and I want to say a bad word, but I'm not going to. It's basically we're going to put you on the spot and have you give us a number, and it's probably going to be lower than what we'd say, but we're going to run with it because you gave us the number.
Boom, and that closes it. I've seen these in so many job postings, like across so many titles. Guys, we got to do better. If you are an HR person watching this, or anybody in charge of putting a job out there for people to apply to, let's stop using these. Let's stop. Let's just know.
Right.
You ask in CX, they answer back. Real CX leaders giving real feedback. Heard in CX.
My guest today has spent almost 20 years in customer experience, learning and building alongside the people who built this field. And this year, like so many brilliant people, she's navigating a career transition. What makes Debbie Szumylo worth every minute of your time is how openly and generously she's talking about this career change. The job search, the road back, all the certifications that she's getting while it's still happening. She wrote recently, I wrote this down somewhere, that if you stand still long enough, the choice gets made for you. But don't you want to be the one to make it?
Right.
Debbie, you've had some wild interviews lately. I remember you telling me about one on our last call. It was like the timed video that they made you record. What's the strangest thing that this hiring process has thrown at you?
So the weirdest thing about this is weird, but it's weirder. So my daughter, who's 24, is also going through a job search right now. She was laid off as well simultaneously. She'll come over and she'll job search, on her laptop while I'm job searching on mine, and then I'll compare notes with her. 2 days ago, I had an interview with Sunny. Sunny was a bot. She was the first time I've done this, a screener. She called me multiple times and left a message to say I could call her back. So I called her back, and Sunny walked me through the standard screening questions in order to be given an interview. And it was weird. It was weird, but I had a picture of Sunny in my head. She looked a little bit like, I don't know if any of you remember, as old as me, to remember Skipper from Barbie's little sister, I think. That's who I pictured as Sunny in my head.
I have seen Skipper.
So Skipper and Sunny, but I talked to her. I've had ones, and the one I told you about was really strange. You're going to talk to your screen, basically, and we're going to put a question on the screen. You've got a minute to read it, and then 3 minutes to respond. And then it said, in some cases, you'll be able to re-record. Okay, so I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm watching the screen. I'm looking at me. That's all I'm looking at is me, which is, as we all know, very uncomfortable to watch yourself and hear yourself. And of course, the first question, I got distracted and said the wrong word. So I hit stop, couldn't go back and re-record that one. Great. So the second question, I finished my first question. By then I was a basket case. It was just, I'm just not used to this. And my daughter, who, like I said, 24, acts like this is just normal. This is everything she's been doing. This is just normal. And I'm floored. Every day there's something new that I have not seen before.
It's so crazy. I mean, and I'm 30. Like, by the way, anybody that was wondering, I'm 30, and you said she's 24, and it's so wild how AI has progressed so quickly that like they are used to it. And I say they like there's a giant gap between a 24-year-old and a 30-year-old, but no, but there is. They are used to it. Like I never had to apply for jobs like that. Like. You did the application, you did the in-person interviews. The craziest, most technological it would be, doing a Zoom call or doing a Google call. Like, and so it's really funny because my sister was recently going through a job search as well. And again, she just acted like none of these fake avatar interviews were anything out of the normal. She's like, yeah, and then you do this and then you do that. I'm like, that's crazy. Can you ask it for a pie recipe and will that override the AI?
Who knows? I need to also add something else that is scary that I not experienced before. There are a lot of scams.
Ooh.
Jobs that don't exist. And I've been almost scammed twice, and it's crazy out there. So anyone else looking for a job, double check those emails. If they're not coming from the company, if they're coming from a Gmail, that is your first red flag. But it is out there and it's unbelievable. It's pretty scary.
Okay. I think the next question that kind of ties in a little bit, I have here one from Beth Reedy.
Okay.
She asks, how have you navigated the industry and built such lasting impact without burning out? Or are there seasons to longevity in customer experience?
Sure, that's a great question. I think part of it is CX changes a lot. And so there's always something new to learn. There's somebody new to talk to. There's a lot of things always going on in CX. It's always got moving parts. But I also think it comes from choosing to work on things that align with my values and loving what I do. If you don't love learning from people and understanding what's going on with them, the seasons that exist will wear you down. And yes, I do think there are seasons. One season you're building something, then all of a sudden you're maintaining and defending what exists. And then next time, the season is being reinvented around you. The industry is changing itself completely. So I think part of what burns people out and wears people down is expecting each season to feel the same. You have to judge for yourself when you need to take a break and when you need to step away, when you need to make sure you're including that rest and kind of that downloading all that stuff in your brain. The other really important piece that helps with longevity and with those different changes are people. So I've stayed connected to a really awesome group of core people that I've known, many of them only virtually, for 15 years or more. And we used to, way back when Twitter was still going wild, we had a Wednesday tweet chat. And it was awesome. And we just learned from each other and got to know each other, and we've maintained our contact. And so I think the relationships outlast any one job, and they're going to help carry you through the tough times. I mean, I reach out and say, hey, I ran into this problem. I've not seen this before. What have you done, or what have you seen? And even now with job hunting, they've been a godsend. So I think you have to know yourself and then make sure that you take care of yourself, but also know that there's good people out there that you need to stay connected to.
100%. Community is everything. And this is an excellent time to shout out the CX Accelerator community.
Yes.
It is a Slack community full of customer experience professionals, practitioners, full of contact center and customer service practitioners. So you have a gamut of people that you can connect with a lot of interesting channels that you can find resources, contact center information, AI information. And so it's an excellent place to be if anyone is looking for a community that they can join and start to connect with others. CX Accelerator is right there. We will drop a link in the comments for you to register. Definitely something worth joining. I want to ask one final question for this episode. This one's coming from Natalie Perez, and she asks, women make up over 70% of customer experience employees by most estimates. Do you think that AI disproportionately affects roles held by women?
I'm hesitant to make a prediction on AI because I don't think anybody really has a real handle on how much it's going to reshape and what it's going to reshape. But I do think there are some roles that are logically more exposed, roles that are repetitive, rely on a script, and those are parts of some CX. And so I think those might be ones that are impacted. However, and I keep telling, like, my husband has that fear in his eyes when anyone talks about AI. But to me, I believe it will expand the work of anybody who learns to shape it, supervise it, humanize it, use it. Don't let it use you. So a good example is knowledge management. So customer experience teams, one of the things that I believe they really struggle with is keeping content fresh, keeping documentation fresh. And I think that's an area that definitely AI could be helpful in. I also think, like we talked about earlier, volume. So if you're trying to find gaps in a customer journey or gaps in a customer feedback, and you're manually tracking those down, if you've ever had hundreds of people respond to a survey and you're sitting there in front of your Excel document and you're trying to figure out record by record what the connections are, you will know that AI is going to be a blessing. But I think that is awesome. I think that, and the coolest part about it is a lot of times we don't even pay attention to a lot of that data unless it's right after a survey, but AI can keep track of it constantly instead of quarterly or whatever, but it can track down those friction points for you without having to do that. It takes some of the heavy lifting that's administrative. Billing, same thing, like this is an example. So let's say you have a billing flow with the customers and there's a certain point in that process where they're always getting stuck. It constantly gets stuck. So AI will be able to tell you when there's a spike in a certain area and why, and get you to start working on a solution faster before it becomes a bigger problem.
Yeah.
So I do think that you're right. CX will definitely be impacted because women are overrepresented in some of those roles, but I don't think it's inevitable. I think that there's things that we can do ahead of ourselves to, for all those people that are working in those roles. What can your company do to give you better tools, give you some real training and more strategic work to get you prepared for that? So then it becomes not us being led around by technology, but leadership helping us lead with technology.
Mm-hmm.
So
1,000%. Yeah, where AI holds the value is helping and taking the heavy work. It's a little cheesy, but we like to say, AI for the tours, humans for the gold. Let humans do what humans do best, which is the connections with other people. The best and most immediate ROI that we've seen for our customers with AI is precisely that, in identifying the unknown little fires before they become that giant fire.
Part of me feels a little bit like, some of us are panicking maybe perhaps. And I think we just have to take a step back and first of all, learn what it is. If you've never used AI before, learn it. And even the basics. And there's so many free mini courses you can take, but I just keep thinking about, oh my gosh, is this going to be a Y2K? Are we going to all be heading for the bomb shelter because we're going to blow up around our computers? I don't know. So anyway.
Literally, I agree. And I think a lot of this has come from like Sam Altman and a bunch of these characters like coming out here and saying like everybody's job is on the line. And then what I do want to end with is this amazing stat by Metrigy. I think it was 83% of customers still prefer a human, even if they were assured that their issue would be solved with AI. 100%. 83% of humans still said like, hey, I want to talk to another human. So I think we're never going to go out of business here when it comes to the human to human connection.
Heard in CX, come ask away. We got CX leaders talking real day.